Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel where we discuss all things narcissism, and this video is going to be some signs of a secretive narcissist and why narcissistic people do tend to be so secretive. There is a difference between people and their own privacy, having their own privacy, where the information that they are keeping to themselves wouldn't negatively impact another person, wouldn't negatively impact a family member, a friend or a colleague or a boss. When it comes to narcissistic people, they tend to hold back on giving information that would mean you are able to make an informed choice that doesn't necessarily work in that narcissistic person's favour. And then when you inevitably find out the information and you go to discuss this with the narcissist to try and find some sort of reason or rationale as to why they would lie to you or hide something from you, they attack you. They accuse you of going through their things. They claim they can't trust you, or they claim that you're the one that has trust issues, or that you're just overreacting, or they didn't tell you because they knew that you would act like this, which is usually how most reasonable people would act if they have been deceived in some way. So when it comes to a narcissistic person, one sign of their secrecy is they will never answer a straightforward question with a straightforward answer. They will usually answer your question with a question, or turn around and say, oh, do we have to talk about this now? They rarely to never want to agree to something, usually because they don't want to do it. So by being evasive in answering the question, they don't agree to it, and you're trying to make plans, and the more you try to discuss it with them, the more they accuse you of nagging them and not leaving them be, and they don't want to go with you now anyway because of how you've been with them about it. And so they will not answer a simple question. They also like to know something you don't know. They like causing that intrigue. They feel smug knowing something that you don't. So they don't want to be forthcoming with that answer because they feel superior to you, and that helps them keep control over you. So they will avoid answering questions. They will be vague about answering questions. They will turn around and say, do we have to talk about this now? I'd prefer not to argue with you. So if you then try to push the subject, it'll erupt into an argument, and then they'll blame you for always causing an argument. They can be obsessively secretive about their phones. Their phones are always on there. They're never left out of sight so that someone else can potentially see it. Or they have their screen set so that there is no preview message. Any messages in their phone are deleted regularly, so there's nothing to show. They are obsessively secretive about their phones. However, they usually have those double standards where they expect to be allowed to rifle through your phone by just asking. Now, we can all have information and things on our phone that we perhaps don't want other people to see, not because it would negatively impact the other person, just because it's personal to us or work related and data protection related. However, with most people, you can trust that they wouldn't go into those things. A narcissist would go into those things and then use those things against you. They hide their expressions. Sometimes when you're dealing with a narcissistic people, they can seem emotionally dead and they can seem expressionless. There's nothing there. You can't read where they're coming from. And they've usually cut these off so that you can't gain that information from them. They're not emotionally dead. Their emotions just work different to ours. They feel the same emotions as us. It's just where we get pleasure out of other people's happiness, they get pain out of other people's happiness. Where we get pain out of other people's misery, they get pleasure out of other people's pain. So they have the same emotions, they just get those emotions differently. And they are incredibly defensive people. You can't just express a logical point of view to them without them turning around and attacking you in some way, accusing you, and they're going to go all out to get you on the defensive so that they don't have to, so that you have to explain yourself to them and justify yourself to them so that you don't speak out against them. You never know what mood they're going to be in. Now, we can all have those days. We can all be capable of having mood swings. However, with a narcissistic person, this comes down to something so simple as when they walk through the door, you never know whether you or not you can ask them if they've had a good day, because you do not know what mood they're going to be in. When they wake up, you don't know whether it's safe to say good morning to them, because you do not know whether they're going to attack you for claiming that it's a good morning when it's not a good morning. Yet you also don't know whether you're not saying that to them because of previous experience will also trigger them. So you're constantly walking on eggshells around them. They tell lots of little white lies. They lie about things that don't even need lying about. They exaggerate stories. And then when you question them to find out more information because you're interested or curious, they won't answer those questions. They don't want you talking to other people. They don't want you being alone with their parents or their children or their friends. They don't want you being alone with certain people or talking to certain people. If they come in and claim that their adult child's got no respect and has done this, that and the other, and you're just like, oh, let me just go and have a chat and see if we can smooth things over. No, don't want you getting involved, because they do not want you finding out the truth. They enjoy triangulating you. Narcissistic people will go all out to be helpful towards somebody because that person doesn't know what the narcissist is taking behind that person's back. And then once they've got what they wanted from that person, they stop being as helpful towards that person. And when that person then asks the narcissist to do something because they were once helpful, the narcissist will then claim that that person is asking too much of them. So they'll come moaning to you, claiming that that person is asking too much and doesn't appreciate them, when in reality the narcissist was helpful when they were getting something and then has stopped being so nice and helpful because they're no longer getting their own way, yet they want to twist it to blame the other person, and they don't want you discussing this with the other person because they do not want you finding out what they're truly up to. They turn everything onto you or onto somebody else. They blame you for why they were running late, or they blame their children, or they blame their ex, or they blame their parents. They blame other people for why they let you down, so that you dislike the other person and not the narcissist, to create that divide and conquer. They blame you for everything that goes wrong within their life, but they'll not go into great detail about the part they played. They'll only be telling you about the part that the other people played. And the closer you get to the truth, the more they will turn on you and come at you with those unjust accusations and accuse you of doing the very thing they're doing to you. So if they're cheating on you, they'll accuse you of cheating on them. They will provoke feelings of jealousy within you and then claim that it's your feelings of jealousy that are the problem and not their behaviour. They will accuse you of overreacting or imagining things or being paranoid or being crazy. And a narcissistic person will accuse you of being crazy about things that you later find out to be true, because they're trying to hide who they really are, to deceive you, to get their needs met by you. They're selling people an illusion that they are superior and better than they actually are as a person. They want people to perceive them as perfect, and they will point out your imperfections to make themselves feel better. So they are highly secretive people because they don't want you finding out certain information. They don't want you making a decision, an informed choice, and they enjoy causing that intrigue. They enjoy being like that little toddler that I know something you don't know. They really do get a kick out of that. Any secretive behaviour you notice, please do add those into the comments. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot get no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.